Hey there, Kenneth French of Vast Voice, telling business secrets to entrepreneurs. We're very, very happy you stopped by. Either you're going to watch this or listen to this because you want to take your business to the next level. You're probably an entrepreneur who's either just starting out or you've been around for quite a while and you want to take your business to the next level. You're probably a real estate investor, maybe even a real estate agent, maybe a professional or of some sort, professional advisor of some sort. And well, you are stopping by because you need some valuable advice from one of the top industry leaders there is. Anyway, thank you very much. Once again, Kenneth French, Vast Voice, telling business secrets to entrepreneurs. Really glad you stopped by.
Hey kids, you know how you have a struggling time with Excel and you just can't quite figure it out and it drives you crazy? This dude, Jeff Lenning, has totally figured it out, and more than anything, he's figured it out in a way that's completely helped his business. I don't even think he understands what he's done. I like what he's done so much. Anyway, thanks a lot for being here, Jeff.
Hey, thanks. It's great to be back.
All right, yeah, this is the second time you've been here. I love the discussion the first time. I said, dude, you have to come back. Really quickly, why don't you mention a little bit about your journey, and then we could get into kind of some of the specifics that I find so unbelievable, and it can be so applicable to so many of our viewers and listeners who are mainly entrepreneurs, all entrepreneurs, really.
Cool. Well, I'll give the super concise version then. Basically, for me, it's been all about efficiency. And so the big tool for that was Excel. I used Excel in my role as the accounting manager to get our monthly close from 2 weeks to 2 days. I was like, oh my goodness, this is insane. So I wanted to help other people do what I did. So I wrote articles, books, and now I set up a whole online Excel training platform.
That's exactly right. And I think of you as a marketer, but I don't think you think of yourself as a marketer, because what you've done, in my opinion, would be the analogy of someone being a great plumber, right? Let's say someone's a killer plumber, and all of a sudden they've turned the plumbing, instead of going in someone's house to, turn wrenches, put their hand down the toilet, let's just say, all of a sudden they've turned it into a community that's got recurring revenue and it's killing it. That's basically what you've done in Excel. You get me?
Yeah. That's basically right? Because I take the skill of using Excel to then helping other people use it, not only just like in person, like trading dollars for hours, but now it's this membership kind of a platform. Correct.
Yeah. And we're basically trying to do the same thing, or just about to do the same thing. We'll get into that in a little bit because we're going to be here for about a half an hour. So instead of you being a consultant, going physically into an office, showing people how to do an Excel spreadsheet and automating it, what you have, I guess, really going on is people go to at least a monthly, I think maybe twice a month, meet up online virtually, I believe. And really, therefore, that's where you get your passive income, which is totally different than if you're, trading time for dollars in being working on an Excel spreadsheet in someone's office, basically.
Exactly, 100% right. So like as an accountant, like my roots are as a CPA and an accountant. Every job I've had has been trading dollars for my time. Hourly employee, like the whole deal, billable hours, all that stuff. And now it's just different. I've built out this platform with all the pre-recorded videos so people can train on demand. Plus then I bring in the live Zoom calls, for office hours.
Yep. And we're doing the same thing. We're starting this community called Vast Vault. We have, I'm going to mention 3 different things. We always are going to be emailing or blast emailing people, number 1. And then number 2, we have a free community that you could get into the community. It's free. You could get content. You hear from me and this other guy I'll mention down the road once a month, or you could do a paid community where it's $29 a month. You get a lot of stuff. You get access to our library, all of our content, exclusive content, et cetera, et cetera. So we're trying to do the same thing. Actually, it's being launched as we speak. So I'm very interested personally. And also I think a lot of our people could be taking advantage of what you're doing in their industry. We have at least 2,000 real estate agents, and we have let's say a one-to-one communication with, and then we have another 1,800 that they kind of know who we are through a strategic alliance. So I think a lot of those people could be doing what you're doing, in that instead of going and selling a house, they could be coaching or training investors, or training, let's say as a real estate agent, they could be training people how to buy houses. Instead of going and showing houses, they could make it so the people do it themselves and they get a coaching fee or whatever the case is. And I think that's brilliant what you've done, because I think you were in, was it Disneyland last time we talked? I mean, you get to chill out basically and coach in your jammies if you want,
For sure. Well, first of all, good luck with your project. And second of all, I'm happy to be fully transparent and provide any of the tools, the process, all the mistakes I learned along the way. Like, this definitely did not come together overnight. So hit me up, man. I'll give you all the insight.
Well, how did you do? So like for us, we have already existing clients coming in. We have luckily business coming in, but it's scary to make that transition to all of a sudden $29 a month. You know what I mean? So like, how did you do that actually to make that transition?
Yeah. So the evolution of that kind of model for me started with what I'll call live launches and course sales. So it looked more like this. I give a weekly email that has 0 sales. It's all just Excel tips and knowledge. And then like 2 times a year or maybe 3 times a year, I would do a live launch, which means I would do live webinars like 5 times, like over the course of a week, like 5 different live sessions. And I would invite people to take this paid course, and then that would close down. And then the revenue would just drop to like this, right? And then I'd wait like 3 or 6 months, and then I'd do this whole big promotional splash and try to convince people to come in and take training. And so the revenue was very volatile, and it was very stressful because like you're doing this live ramp, and then sales just kind of trail off. Then I transitioned over to what I'll just call like this more evergreen model, which is what I'm on now, which is more of a subscription membership type of concept rather than these live launches.
Yeah. And then how much is it? I forgot. How much is it per month? Or I know. Yeah. How often do you bill, by the way?
Yeah. So I have 2 plans, monthly or annual, and there's different training passes. So it goes they start at $29 a month.
That's what. Oh, same as us. Oh, I got it. Yeah, I totally hear it. And you have like thousands. How many people do you have on an ongoing basis?
Yeah, it kind of varies, but somewhere between 700 and 900 active subscribers.
That's unbelievable. That is unbelievable. And by the way, what platform do you use if you feel comfortable enough to mention it?
Yeah, I'll tell you all the tech tools I use because trust me, it was very much like a work in progress. But now kind of where I've landed is for the actual course material, the videos and all that stuff, it goes through an LMS. So it's a proper like learning management system, complete with quizzing, activities, activity completion, like all the things that you would need to provide effective training. And that LMS is openlms.net. And it's a proper like hosted professional solution. So they do all the updates and they do all the technical like things.
I understand. And you supply the content. And I bet you the content, a lot of your content or some is based on the stuff you do every day, I bet, and that you can put on there as content, correct?
Yeah, exactly right. So like I'm in Excel like all the time, like every day.
Yeah.
So in Google Sheets, like every day. So I'm just in spreadsheets like all the time. And so correct, as I'm learning new things myself or as Excel releases or Microsoft releases new Excel features, I'm keeping things updated by incorporating those new videos.
Yeah. What about AI? Are you using AI?
We use AI for a variety of internal things. And then also some of the new lessons or the new videos touch on how to implement AI in Excel specifically. But for my business, yes, I use AI to for a variety of different things. Help me come up with social media captions, help me translate my video transcript into a blog post, at least a draft. Like my experience with it is that it's not going to give you 100% ready to go, but it certainly will get you 80% there, and then you just modify it.
Yeah, I get it. Do you use anyone offshore to help or no?
No, it's just myself and then 2 US-based virtual assistants, and they live in Georgia and Texas.
Employees or contractors?
They're 1099 contractors.
Yeah. Dude, you got a lot of good stuff going on. By the way, what's going on down the road? What are you going to do to expand, if at all?
Yeah, so I have a new batch of courses that I'm planning for, and I'll release those. So the idea is to build on the foundation of efficiency with Excel and then show other tools that are like not Excel, but like adjacent to Excel that will just help the people who I support be even more efficient.
Yeah, because you don't, I totally hear you. Because I would think that Excel's killer, but if you could add on something else, I don't know what that something else would be, that could get you, instead of 900 people, I could get you another 100 or 200 people who would be interested in whatever said product or service would be.
Exactly. And so some of these tools that I'm going to be teaching are more the things I've used internally that are more online than like a desktop application.
Yeah.
So there are things like Zapier, ActiveCampaign, Stealth Seminar,
Yeah.
like all these different tools. And so when you can see how they can all fit together and communicate with each other, and like, a simple example, I do my YouTube video, I grab the transcript, and then AI takes it and creates a blog post that automatically loads it into WordPress. And there's just so many automations like that that can really just save a lot of time.
That's what I would think. You're really a business automation guy. I mean, that's what I would think of you as, because that's really what Excel is. It's a big macro for life, and just because
Correct.
everything's numeric. Yeah. I totally get it. And I would really think Zapier and Make, et cetera, would be the big thing for you, kind of a natural progression for automation.
Exactly. And so the new set of courses are going to be focused a lot on online Excel, online Zapier, how to connect everything, Airtable for all your database stuff, like all those kind of living on the cloud types of applications.
And you don't teach, again, trading for dollars for time. You don't teach or you don't work with individual clients. You have people within your community that I bet you're kind of leaders who, if you will, who end up working with the quote clients for one-time projects.
Yeah, so we basically have for the students who are active in the membership, they get access to myself and TAs, which are students who have, like you say, kind of come up. And so those are all free and included in our training passes. If someone has a really specific like project though, that's not training, but it's actually like a project, then I keep a list of consultants because I don't do any consulting projects or live sessions or anything like that anymore. I used to, but now I refer those out to our, consultants.
I would do that too. And do you get affiliate comp from that or no?
Oh, I don't want any.
I
don't want any involvement in that. They're strictly like independent third party. And I advise, do your own due diligence. Like these are not affiliated with me. There's no revenue coming back, anything like that.
Yeah. So you can't be liable as an example.
Correct.
Yeah, I understand. Yeah, I think it's absolutely brilliant. And I think Google Sheets and Excel, Excel spreadsheet totally are smart. Something to base automation on, which is what you do. For one, that shows you're smart, you're numeric, calculative, et cetera, that you could be able to teach that. And then people continue to be members and grow, and then grow with you as you add other products and services as well.
Exactly. Because at the end of the day, I'm not really selling Excel knowledge. What I'm selling is the efficiency that Excel knowledge gives you.
Yep.
And so Excel is a major component, but there are so many other things. So I'm just trying to help my students through the journey. And they started Excel, and then there's just other applications and other things that are really going to help them. So that's what I'm here to serve. And that's, what I'm trying to support.
Yeah. Are you doing gamification in your community?
Tons of gamification, man. I got XP level up. I got badges. I got all kinds of stuff.
Yep.
The coolest one though is, I don't know if you're a gamer, but like in some video games, it's just like, kind of a free for all and you just kind of, go. But some video games have like campaign mode or story mode where there's a storyline or a plot line that ties all the levels together and you go through in this like progression. And so I was talking with my son, Jason, when he and I play together, we make like a really good team. And so I'm like, hey, I'm trying to think about this thing for my Excel classes. And so we got to brainstorming. And so basically now I have this story mode inside the class. And so the idea is you would take a lesson and then you would apply what you learned in that lesson to help campus security with their investigation. So I went all around town and I shot all these really cool like cutscenes, intro, outro, and there's workbooks and there's a whole story that goes along with it. And so, so you basically are motivated to keep progressing through the levels. And so that's kind of the purpose of it. And it's super fun.
Yeah. And I get a weird feeling. And you didn't, I'm going to assume I'm right here. You didn't hire a coach to help you, did you?
I did not. No.
Yeah. You're a very interesting dude. You figured out the answer to a lot of people's issues, and that's how to how to trade dollars for time and turn it into exactly what you've done. And somehow you did it kind of on your own. I'm sure you did a lot of research, et cetera, but you did it on your own, which is it's unbelievable. I would say unbelievable. What's the span of time? When did you start doing that, by the way? When did you start from day one with 0 members to all of a sudden 900 members?
Yeah, so it's multiple years. I would say, see, there's just been so many different like phases, from the live launch phase to all that kind of stuff. But basically, to build the content, we can start there. It's about 1 year per course for me to plan and develop a course, create all the videos, create all the exercises, create all the relative book and all that stuff, launch it on Amazon, all the things. So there's 6 courses, so about 6 years of building the content. After that 6-year period is when I really then started focusing on, okay, I don't know marketing. I'm an introverted accounting CPA nerd, right? Like after school, like computer programming club in junior high, like that kind of a dude. And so trying to figure out marketing was a challenge for me. And so, yes, I've read tons of books. I have been in groups with mentors and that kind of thing. But in the last few years have been more set up to kind of figure out how the marketing and the membership piece works.
I understand.
Probably 10 years is the long answer.
And I'm going to guess you don't coach people on that either, huh? If someone wanted to hire you for that, you don't do that really, huh?
I don't. I kind of just try to stick to my wheelhouse, which to me is really all the accounting and Excel and the computer kind of stuff. But I'd be happy to share everything I've learned along the way, because I've hit some roadblocks and had to make pivots, so
that's where I'm sure you're great with Excel or whatever, but I think that's where you could add value to a lot of people, because dude, people don't like, I don't think working, trading time for dollars. I think it's a tough undertaking. And I think if people could move to recurring revenue sitting in their jammies or in Disneyland, they'd be a lot happier. So wait a minute. So, because we, as an example, we've been around since 1969. I took over in 2006, and we have mass content, right? We have a lot of content. And I think a lot of the people out there have a lot of content as well. If they're not posting on social media, they just have it from all the videos that they're doing that they could use as content. And so that's what we're doing. We're putting all of our content online behind a paywall, and we're doing specific content for people who we want to be members, who've done an application to be a part of that. And I think it's a little bit easier to make that transition. Does that make sense? From the old school of time for dollars to at least starting the membership. It's easier than people think. That's what I would say. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, and it can grow. It's not like you have to have the full product line before you launch. Like I launched after my first of 6 modules, and then you launch. And so, you don't have to wait for everything to be perfect and everything to be done. But in talking about making the switch from time for dollars to more of a productized service, Built to Sell is the book that is very good at explaining that whole conversion from a service hourly bill thing to a product that you build and then sell access to it. So that would be a great reference. Built to Sell.
Built to Sell. And who's it by? Do you know?
I forget his name.
Built to Sell. No big deal. There's also a book, One to Many by, anyway. Yeah. Okay. So, and we're in the point, I'll just talk about us for a little bit. So we've got in our database 10,000 people. We merged with the law, 10,000, really 12,000. But we built or merged with a law firm. They have 6,000. And by the way, that entity is called vastassetdefense.com. And it's a law firm that does asset protection and estate planning. Anyway, so we have a huge database, and we are slowly going to be letting people know, be a part of the community. $29 a month or whatever, it's added value. So I think our people are going to learn from that. But what are your thoughts about making that kind of transition from what we've been doing to, the new model, and letting our clients, prospects, and our database know? What are some suggestions you would provide there?
Yeah. So in terms of the messaging for how to communicate the value of the thing that you're providing to them is Alex Hormozi, $100 million offers, right? Yep. And he taught me basically, how do you talk to people about this? Like I'm not a pushy sales dude, right? I'm this introvert. So he's able to kind of help me figure out how is the message? What does this introduction look like? What are the common objectives? How do you set up bonuses that meet those objections, and all of those kinds of things? Because the offer is not just it's $29 a month in exchange for this. It's a whole, it's much bigger than that. And so I would recommend checking that out for some specifics. But he's helped me in terms of communicating my message out to prospective students.
Yeah, as a mentor, or you've read his book?
His book, all through his book,
Yeah,
and YouTube videos.
Which he's out there on social media, he and his wife. Okay, so I'm going to change a little bit, then I'm going to get back to what we're talking about. But Excel spreadsheet, you got to be really smart for that. So, but let's say I'm just a normal businessman, which I am. Do I have time to learn it in a membership, meaning the stuff that you're going to teach me, or just hire someone to do it? I mean, I guess you're going to say it depends, but like, that's a big undertaking to be a part of your group. But I think it makes sense in a lot of cases because you're going to teach me how to automate, systematize my business. But it seems some people might say, well, that's a lot of work to be a part of that. If I don't mean the part of the community, if I don't want to learn about it myself. Get what I'm saying?
I agree. So the concept for me is I've always been, I'd rather teach you how to fish than to just give you a fish.
Yeah.
And so if I create a workbook or a template for you, as soon as I hand it off to you, it's going to break. You don't know how to maintain it if something goes wrong. You're going to be stressed out because the thing is due tomorrow and I'm not around. So you're going to try to text me to say, hey, Jeff, I need this for tomorrow. Like, do you see how that creates that situation? So even if that's what they think that they want, I don't do that. I help you, and I truly help you where you are in terms of your Excel proficiency and skills so that you can be independent, build the workbooks that you want to build. Because honestly, there's no template that fits everyone's business. Like, everything is so custom anyways.
So wait a minute. So that just hit me. So for $29, is there a buy-in, one-time buy-in, or no?
No, it's monthly, month to month.
So I get a template. I get a bunch of templates, meaning Excel or whatever, Google Sheet templates.
No, there's no templates. I don't sell or offer templates.
Oh, I thought you said template. You do. I got it. Because you teach us how to build them. I understand.
Yeah. Yes. I'm saying if I were to provide templates, you're not going to know how to customize it or build, because you're going to break it in the formulas, or, you don't understand the formulas and the functions.
Yeah, I bet you your courses are very fundamental at first and really build on one another, because not very many people, or I won't say not very many people, a lot of people aren't totally technically proficient, so they need the basic understanding. This is a macro as an example.
Yeah, and that's how I've organized the content. And so, like, if you're taking existing content and trying to bundle it, here's basically what I did is I just introduced, and with Excel, I'm very comfortable talking about what things are dependencies of what other knowledge. In other words, I know I can't even have a discussion with you about pivot tables until I first talk with you about tables. And I can't even talk about tables until I talk about defined names. So it's set up in a very strict logical progression. So everybody can get into this one training platform and start at the beginning and then work through. And if they encounter a lesson where they already know about VLOOKUP, fine, take the quiz and move on. But it's designed to start at the beginning and work through sequentially in order.
I get it. I totally get it. I get it. And I bet you have little churn because people are learning, churn, meaning people coming and going. I got to assume because people want to be long-term because it stacks on itself, meaning the information.
Everything stacks. Correct. And so that's another example. Like if we talk about concatenation, we'll talk about that. But then I'm gonna
wait, what?
That. That's an Excel where you're joining two cell text values together. Anyway, but my point is I introduce
merging. Okay.
Yeah. But then we revisit that topic like 10 more times. And so it's all building this foundation because, I'm not sure about the things in your business, but for me, it's not just like one thing. Like, it's not just about VLOOKUP. For a workbook to function efficiently, it's like 10 different Excel things all working together in harmony. So we introduce it and then we keep revisiting it and adding on as we go.
I understand. Yeah, I think a lot of the stuff you're teaching would work well in our AI system. We call it Einstein. We use, as you know, we do tax, finance, and artificial intelligence to lower tax liability. And a lot of our stuff, AI is, for us, is really business automation. And if we could combine some of the stuff that you're teaching onto our platform, I would think it'd be huge. And then even combining with Zapier would be really big. I get it. All right, let me ask a few more questions. We only have about 7 minutes. So Wow, that's an incredible deal you have going on. What else? What other words of wisdom would you give to someone who wants to move from the old school way of doing things like time for dollars, yeah, exactly, time for dollars, or kind of the new way of passive income or really recurring income, et cetera, et cetera. What other words of wisdom would you provide?
Yeah, the first thing is your asset is your email list.
Mm.
So don't get caught up in building an audience and all these different platforms over which you have zero control. Build your email list and your rapport with your prospects. And so that's going to be some probably weekly, maybe monthly, I don't know, but some cadence that you can maintain where you're communicating with them and giving them just value, no sales, just value, 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 value. And then I figured about quarterly is when your offer goes out, and then your offer can be anything from check out this webinar to, hey, the course is opening now for registration, so now's a good time to get in, to a 20% discount or some type of offer about every quarter. But keep your email list because you control it. You can move into other applications. You can use ActiveCampaign. You can use some of the other email providers, but you now own that list and that asset. And that's the only marketing you really need is marketing to your email list. So build that email list, keep it, protect it, and nurture it. That would be my best advice.
It's funny that I was just talking to a guy yesterday, a big marketing guru, and he's talking about, and I get it, talking about spending money on marketing with Facebook, with Google. I'm like, well, wait a minute, what about all these people who already have huge email lists? All they have to, in my opinion, all they have to do is market to that list. There's going to be a higher open rate. They don't have to spend as much money because, well, now numbers show it's a 1 to 40. If you invest $1, you're going to get $40 in return on your own email list versus spending, tons of money on Facebook. I mean, people have money right in front of them and they're walking over it to go after the Facebook crowd.
Yeah. I in the old days, I've experimented with every different kind of thing. And what I found is that if I'm trying to convince you to buy something the first time you meet me, it's like 0%. So that's why I'm saying getting them into your email list and then providing value over time. They know, like, and trust you. And that's when the sales are going to occur. It's not at least I haven't been able to figure out how to throw an ad up and for you to go, wow, I'm going to buy that Excel course. Like, no. So if I were to advertise in other platforms, it's going to be more about giving you something free to get into my email list. So then I can provide value to you over time.
I was going to ask, that's how you're growing your list, is providing stuff free, which we do with our, our new captive or our new community. As a matter of fact, here it's free. I'm being blunt for everyone out there. We kind of tease a little bit, and then hopefully the thought is people are going to go into our $29 community and then hopefully work with us. Also, by the way, what that does is it gets rid of needing a sales force, because having a sales force is tough, man. It's really tough. So now if someone wants to learn from us, be a part of the community, learn from us, then hopefully go up to the $29 deal, and then hopefully they'll say, I need a little bit of help. For us, they would come to us. For you, they'd go to one of your consultants. But the thought is they can go up the value chain, if you will, and they'll, at that point, when they really want to do something with us, they'll know, like, and trust, and we'll know they know and like us, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah. So in your case, that 29 is just a link in the chain to get to the higher ticket item.
That's exactly right. Right. Because $29, that'll get you, for us, it's a, 5% off of our services, by the way. But for us also, once a month, Vastcast, which is, think of it as a webinar, and then they get, they're going to always have new content in there. But if they truly want individual help and they can afford it, then they come to us for true consulting. So it's customized. But otherwise, we're expensive. Sometimes it's too expensive for maybe a business that's starting out. You know what I mean? Especially if we're doing tax and finance stuff for them, and so, yeah, you get it. We're just basically a more junior version of you as it relates to that, even though we've been around for years, because we're from the kind of the old school world back in the 60s or 70s of trying to here, go to the client, look at their tax return, et cetera, et cetera. We're trying to educate them maybe so they can do their own taxes, and if they need us to stand in, they can pay for us to provide the service.
Yeah, and you're meeting people where they are in their journey with you. So I think it's brilliant.
Yeah. Wow. Thanks. It sounds like I want to be like Jeff Lenning when I grow up. Well, Well, let's say someone wants to join your community because it's such a cool community and they can learn marketing, et cetera. They could see what it is that you're doing. How does someone join?
Yeah, so excel-university.com/tips to get my free Excel newsletter that provides Excel tips. That's free. And then also Excel, and there, by the way, there's a hyphen in there. So excel-university.com/tips. Then there's also a free Excel course. And the idea with that course is that you can get in and you can learn 5 things that are going to give you the most efficiency within Excel. And then if you'd like to dig deeper, then we'd offer you the discount on the paid course, paid program.
Yep. I dig it. I'm so glad. Yeah. You mean if they pass that or whatever, then that's when they get the discount.
Yeah. So once they kind of sign up for that, they go through that. And then, we follow up with, some polite emails basically saying, hey, if you had a good time and you'd like to dig deeper on these features, then, consider, joining our program.
And those are all automated emails, by the way?
Yeah, everything's automated, man. Everything is automated.
So, and by taking your courses, people will know how to do that because they'll be able to watch you in action.
Correct. So the courses are all like video that has screen sharing. So like my face is down, or actually some of them are off camera. Some of them are on, some of them are off camera. But basically you're watching my Excel screen, you get the workbook. And so I'm like, okay, let's insert the sum function, Alt equals. Okay, then you can pause it, go to your Excel, do the thing. And that way you're really learning hands-on instead of just watching a video where it's easy to go, yeah, I got that. But the learning comes in when you're doing the hands-on exercises.
Yeah, I got it. Brilliant, man. People really should reach out to you, not only if they want to know Excel, but also if they want to know business automation and also marketing to watch your business only for $29 a month. That seems like a really good deal.
Yeah, for sure. I am totally happy to help.
Sounds good, man. Hey, everyone, take Jeff up on his offer. Do the free thing. Do the course. Get the discount. $29 a month, and you can learn business automation, marketing. You can learn the whole deal from Jeff the Excel man. Everyone, thanks for watching, listening. Hopefully, we're adding value to you. I would say, based on the few minutes we've spent with Jeff, we are adding value, and he totally will add value. This has been a huge pleasure spending time with you, Jeff, and also all the people out there. Once again, this is Kenner French. Stop by our website if you need anything, by the way. It's at vastsolutionsgroup.com, vastsolutionsgroup.com. And once again, I'm Kenner. I happen to run the place. If you want to get a hold of us or give us any input, info@vastsolutionsgroup.com. Once again, info@vastsolutionsgroup.com. Thank you, everybody. That was good.